Welcome to the WP Builds podcast, bringing you the latest news from the WordPress community. Now, welcome your hosts, David Wormsley and Nathan Wrigley.
Well, hello there. Welcome to this episode 151 of the WP Builds podcast. This episode is entitled, Are We Leaking Clients? It was published on Thursday, the 24th of October 2019. My name's Nathan Wrigley from pictureandword.co.uk, a small web development agency based in the north of England, and I'll be joined a little bit later by David Wormsley from davidwormsley.com for our discussion, Are We Leaking Clients? But a few things before we actually get onto that. If I could encourage you to go to a few links on the wpbuilds.com website. The first one is wpbuilds.com/subscribe. The reason I'm persuading you to go over there is because we've got a couple of email lists, one of which keeps you in touch with what we're doing. Every Monday, the WP Builds news, and every Thursday, the podcast that you're listening to now. We will keep you informed if you sign up to that list. But there's another list, which is the deals list. On that page, it's a blue box. The form is inside a blue box. Probably quite important in the run-up to the Black Friday sales, because as soon as I hear about any deals, I'm going to be sending you a very quick, easy-to-read plain text email, so get yourself signed up to that. On that page, you can also subscribe to us on your favourite podcast player. Join our really thriving Facebook group of 2,300 WordPressers, and there's things like our Twitter feed and YouTube channel and so on. The other link I'm going to point you to is wpbuilds.com/deals. We have deals a bit like Black Friday, but every single day of the week. There's a whole ton over there. So if you are in the market for some WordPress related stuff, go and check that out. wpbuilds.com/win. We've got a competition at the moment. You've got a chance of winning one of 3 RafflePress growth licenses. They're valued at $199, and it enables you to put on your WordPress website viral giveaways. So oddly, we're using RafflePress in order to try and get you to win RafflePress, which is quite interesting. But yeah, please go and enter that. It's a fantastic plugin, I have to say. I'm really impressed with its features. It certainly rivals any of the SaaS platforms out there. And the last one is wpbuilds.com/advertise. If you would like to get your product or service in front of a wider audience, then WP Builds is a pretty good place to do that. Some of the companies that have done that are Cloudways. Cloudways is a managed cloud-based hosting platform for WordPress. Unlike others, they let you choose the servers from top cloud providers like Google Cloud, Amazon, and DigitalOcean. And there are no restrictions on the number of websites per server. And you can try Cloudways using the promo code WPBuilds and get $20 free hosting credit. And the Page Builder Framework. Do you use a page builder to create your websites? The Page Builder Framework is a mobile responsive and lightning fast WordPress theme that works with Beaver Builder, Elementor, Breezy, and other page builders. With its endless customization options in the WordPress customizer, it's the perfect fit for you or your agency. And you can find out more at wp-pagebuilderframework.com. And WP Feedback. Are client communications eating up all of your time? If so, check out WP Feedback. It's a visual feedback tool for WordPress that is specifically designed to get you and your clients on the same page. And you can check that out at wpfeedback.co. And we do thank our sponsors for their support of the WP Builds podcast. Okay, today I'm talking to David Wormsley. It's one of our discussion episodes. A few weeks ago, we talked about this little mini-series that we're going to be starting, and that podcast episode really was laying the groundwork for what's coming in the weeks to come. This first one is all based around a book by a lady called Bryony Thomas, called Watertight Marketing, and this episode is all about, well, the easiest thing to shore up if you're really losing clients left, right and centre, or indeed if you are just leaving money on the table. Surely the first people that you need to be speaking to are the clients that you already have. So that's what this is about, and David and I talk about the things that we've done in the past, some successes, some failures, some quite innovative stuff from David. So yeah, if that's of interest, I hope you enjoy it.
And today's discussion is called Are We Leaking Clients? So Nathan and I are really following on from the last discussion we had where we were using a bookwork to frame our conversations, Watertight Marketing by Bryony Thomas. So probably want to check that one out if this doesn't make sense. But it stands alone. We're talking about how we look after our clients, really.
This is such an interesting area because, as we described at the end of the last podcast that we did, where we talked about marketing and our funnels dead, or whatever the title was, I can't remember off the top of my head now. We have this kind of like at the bottom of the leaky funnel in the picture that was shown, and yet it's the first leak which is probably the easiest to fix. And because, very simply, these are people you already know, I suppose that just makes common sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been looking at this for a long time because I've got to thank Jim Galliano. At the same time, I was thinking, I'm a bit rubbish. I lose customers because they don't know what I do. He was talking about this very topic itself. He's doing a whole load of stuff on this. So, and we haven't talked about this before, have we?
No, I don't think we have. I mean, we've maybe tangentially touched upon it, but we've never really gone in depth with trying to get back clients who are close to leaving, or speaking with clients that you already have that you don't really communicate very well with.
Yeah. So, I mean, go back to the book on this one. It's one of the leaks here. Obviously, it's pretty simple to understand where the leak is. Customers who may be paying us ongoing have forgotten who we are and why they bought from us in the first place. And we just forget to tell them about other things that we can offer them, which they don't know about, so they go elsewhere. And the easiest people, and she's got a big thing about where all these different leaks are and how they kind of rate emotionally, because I think everybody says this, that emotions dictate our kind of spending behavior more than logic does. And this is one that's a kind of a high emotional area. This is something where there are human connections involved with this one. So it's a really good one to plug of all the leaks out there.
Yeah, I think there's a great deal of truth about that, because I know in my situation, nothing to do with websites or the internet or anything like that. Once, let's say, for example, I've used a plumber in the past, or a builder or something like that. I am always going to phone my builder if I need any building work done. I'm just not even going to look. I'm going straight to him because he's my builder. He's the guy that I've trusted in the past. And along that journey to find him, I've had many upsets and things that have gone wrong, but I've found this guy. So he's the man. And the same with plumbers and things like that. Once you've got somebody that you trust, you default to them. And I don't even question the pricing. I just get the bill and pay it on the assumption that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's so true. And she makes a really good point, and I think that it's true of me, definitely, that my vision of support for clients, so I'm really thinking of our care plans, is reactive rather than proactive. So, when I think of support, it's about them, how much it's going to cost me for their problems that they might come to me, and what I'm going to be responsible for when I'm pricing this thing out. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not really thinking about how I can meet their ongoing needs, which is where I'm going, but I didn't start there.
No, and I'm exactly the same, but I think what you're suggesting here is really transformational. I genuinely think it could transform your business, because if you have a legitimate reason to reach out to them because you've discovered something that you think they could very well make use of, I don't know, let's say, for example, you're using a page builder and you suddenly discover a new feature, or, Gravity Forms come out with something, or you discover something that they could input in their marketing funnels, it would be stupid not to contact them, because they would really want to hear that, and they'd probably be delighted that you bothered.
I know. We were talking earlier, weren't we, about this? I mean, you got to hand it to Elementor. Just the way they kind of keep everybody permanently in a state of excitement over their product.
Yep.
I mean, like nobody else. It's not my page builder, it doesn't suit my needs, but you've got to hand it to them. They really know how to keep people involved in their venture.
Yeah, and so the marketing works in sort of two ways, doesn't it? Number one, it satisfies you that the product that you've bought is going to be updated, and you're very pleased about that, and you've got these lovely new features. So you're thinking to yourself, great, when the renewal comes, no problem, I'm happy with that. But also the marketing is helping new users to come on board, because it's constantly showing, look what we're doing, we're updating all the time and so on. So brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and we use Beaverbuild. It gets a lot of criticism for not doing good marketing and selling the features it does keep adding. You find them buried away in some change log, and that's the way I actually, because a lot of my clients are using the page builders now. Why I'm not telling them that they've got some new exciting stuff through using this via me, I don't know.
I think it's just inertia, isn't it? I mean, it's common sense. It makes absolute common sense that you could tell this to your clients. They would, at the very least, they wouldn't be interested. But I don't suppose many of them are going to be actually upset with you for reaching out to them to say, look, I've got something that might actually enable your website to perform better, or to generate leads better, or to create revenue for you better. They're not going to be. It's just inertia. You haven't got the processes set up to communicate with them, or you simply haven't got the time to do it, to create the video, or create the email, or whatever it is that you're going to send their way. But nobody's going to be ticked off with you for assisting them. And yet, I bet that the majority of people listening to this will be able to raise their hand to the question of, are you not doing this? Do you feel that you could do this slightly better?
Yeah, I mean the video we talked about in the last discussion is a tick box list for everybody. Are you doing this? And you just find yourself saying no to most of them, and it's the case here. And the only good thing is that, thanks to kind of Jim and other people talking about this before I came across this book, is that I partly got there because that's my aim, to build these long-term relationships with people. So I have started some stuff.
Okay, and so is that where the direction of this podcast is going? Are you going to talk about some of the things that you've done?
I'm going to talk about me.
Yeah, no, it's good. I have to say that before we started recording this, David demonstrated what he's about to talk about to me, and I think some of this is really, really smart. I like a lot of this, so strap yourself in. Some of this, I think, is actual good gold.
God, you just scared me now. That's a build-up.
It's a load of rubbish. Don't bother listening. Stop now.
That's more like it.
Yeah.
Though I think the book, though, is quite interesting in the sense that it is this thing that we need to do. What she's trying to say is that, the more you can learn about your customers, the better off you're going to be. But then you're going to need to find some way of being consistent with what you're delivering. So you need some processes so you don't lose your people. So you need to understand them, and then you need to have something in place. So my start on this a little bit is the fact, the Facebook group I mentioned to you quite like. I've set one up for clients, and it's not a success at the moment.
So you've set up a Facebook group just for your clients. I wonder how many people are doing that. That seems ingenious to me. What's the? Okay, so you say it's not much of a success at the moment. It's new, but what are you hoping to do in that Facebook group? Let's say that you get a dozen, 20, 30 clients in there. What's the point?
Well, I think it's just, we're addicted a little bit to Facebook groups, even though we're trying to get away from it. So I'm hoping that will to help, just this constant contact, and to get some sense of the problems that they have. So I hope it will go a bit wider into more general things, and I'll learn something about their businesses and have a clue as to not just what to offer them in terms of website help, but the conversations will get wider. I don't know how much of a success this is, but I have tried to...
Sorry, no, I was just going to say, I think it's a genius idea in that you get all of the people, they can consume content that you put in there should they wish to access it. My only fear, which has just occurred to me, is that if the conversation went south and somebody started to complain, then that is equally public, whereas a sort of ticketing system, shall we say, doesn't present that same problem. But assuming everything is hunky-dory and working out all right, it's great.
Yeah, I've had to put this in context, really. I opened it up because my care plan doesn't give them time to support them for things that they might want. I look after their software and they keep it cheap. So this might be a little cheap to them to get some extra support that they would have to pay for. So that's the advantage for them. Okay. That's just, but, I'll see. The one thing I did do recently, which is this is where WordPress comes into it. I've used WP Admin Pages Pro to set up these pages within their websites at the back. And one of them's got a little iframe attached to my site where I can change the content. So when someone goes into their dashboard, I can serve up some different content depending on what I want to get out there. And one of those at the moment is the Facebook group, a little big advert saying, please join our Facebook group, and links them to it.
So I just think this is so smart, really clever. You've got a page on your main website, which presumably you don't link to in the public-facing internet, and yet that is iframed into every one of your clients' WP admin area. So in the dashboard with WP Admin Pages Pro, you've iframed that page, and so whatever you put on it will go straight into their admin area, and thereby, if you got a new idea or a new marketing idea or something, you could put a YouTube video, embed it in there, and they'd all get to see that, or some new feature that you've added. You could just write it once and everybody gets it.
That's it. Just stick it on the top and make it colourful, so it shiny, and hopefully it'll hit some people. I don't know how this is going to work out, and I mean, of course, you could use any other tool. There's quite a lot of plugins now, free ones as well, where you can just change content that's in your dashboard. Yeah,
it's a bit like you get emails from companies, don't you, all the time about what's changed and what's new and why you should go and log into their service and so on. And this is at the point that they are logging in, so you've overcome that problem. This content can only be for the people who have made the effort. So you'd have to do too much in terms of trying to persuade them, because they've already logged in. Of course, you run into problems that many people simply won't log in and therefore won't see it. But I still think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's something. If you don't offer a care plan to somebody, I mean, they can still offer them to join a group, can't you, and still keep in contact with them. So it's it's a way of just staying in touch. Even if they leave, I guess if they leave your service, they might still remain in that Facebook group.
That's an interesting conundrum, isn't it? Do you? I suppose you've got to only put the. Oh, that raises so many interesting questions, because if you did use that as a marketing channel, and it remained in their WP admin area, let's say they don't go to another developer who then obviously quickly figures out how to remove it, they might be persuaded to come back should you put stuff in there which is persuasive about what latest things that we've done. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah. Do you know, I never even thought about that. I was just thinking that once they've joined your group, they might forget to leave that group, even if they leave the rest of your service. So you still might have some way of
stuck with them forever, even if you don't want them.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? In the real world, in our own Facebook experiences, that happens. We get a solution that we want, and we join these other groups, don't we? And there's a mention of another solution. You probably don't need this, but then you're quite intrigued to see how it compares with something you already have. So,
it's a great idea, though, a Facebook group with content also pushed into the back end of your WP dashboard. What else have you been doing?
Well, you do this as well, client reports, but we were saying that we're rubbish with this, aren't we? This is another way.
Do you know what? The client reports, from my point of view, are very much an exercise in, okay, at least we did something, a demonstration that we did something. Each month I send out a brief summation of the Google Analytics, sort of page views and things like that, plus indications that I've backed things up properly and indications that the plugins and themes and core has been updated. But that's kind of where it ends. There is a sort of leading question in there somewhere which basically says, if you need anything, click this link to get in touch. But that's it. And we again talked before we started recording about how that email itself could be such a useful way of keeping in touch with the clients. So instead of it having the same verbatim content each month, I could modify that each month, spend 2 minutes changing the beginning of that email so that it had information about stuff that's going on within the business, things that you think that they might need. And it can be very generic, but did you know we also offer this as a service? What about this? Have you ever tried to do emailing or email marketing? Well, we deal with that, and so on and so forth. That could be a great way in.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what? I think there is one thing I've learned, because I did try to put some interesting content in for a while in those, but of course it was doomed because the header was still the same. It still said it's their monthly
Interesting.
care plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they'd already learned at this point that this is the email that has no interest for them. I will delete it before opening. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
realized that, I'm going to have some kind of bit more clickbaity email titles to be able to make that work. I'm not quite sure.
Do you know what? At the very least, it does
Yeah.
demonstrate that things have been happening. And even if it's never really opened, the fact that they've probably seen one or two of them before they worked out that these are simply to be deleted, and then they have to go through the process of deleting them, there is at least that, okay, things have been updated, delete. It's something. It's not a lot, but it's something.
Do you know what I was thinking as well? Because a friend of ours was trying to make their client reports look nice. They were stylizing them because they just moved to main WP, and they were doing a great job. But suddenly, what struck me afterwards was the fact that I wonder if they're putting anything that personalizes it. Do they put their own pictures of them there? Something that kind of, that connection all the time.
No,
That
I don't think they did, but I think that's genius. Why not do that? Why not add a picture of yourself to the footer as you're signing it off, and why not make the text a little bit more playful instead of very businessy? I haven't. Mine are all now that I think about it, they're all absolutely dry as a bone. I should fiddle with that and make them a little bit more quirky and interesting and fun to read.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, the same person we're talking about is like me, a digital nomad, and I've realised that sometimes people love to hear about where I am now. So why didn't I put a little photo in? I don't do this, but this is, this whole topic is making me think I should think about this. Is it worth doing? Because when you do it once, you put a photo of yourself in, and maybe there's something you can change that says something interesting about what's going on with you this week.
Yeah,
that's not too self-obsessed. Yeah, just chatty, like they're your friend.
Yeah, keep it short, keep it sweet. Yeah, it's a good idea. Okay. Yeah, you've got to judge whether or not the clients that you're sending it to can cope with that. But having two templates for the one for the clients who don't like that kind of stuff, and one for the clients that do, maybe.
This is the problem with all of this, isn't it? How much time you're going to put in, how much it's going to give you back.
Yeah.
Certainly something I need to sort out, because it's there. I take all our payments through WooCommerce, and I have a system. I mean, there's Automate Woo is what I've got, and I'm just not using it. There's also WooCommerce follow-up emails, but you can set them to not just do what I'm doing, which is tell them the care plan's up in so many days. You can really set it to any kind of anniversary or any event that's happened and time it to come out. And
I suppose it goes a little bit like you were just saying a minute ago about personalising the message. If you're going to send things out on their birthday and things, you've just got to be a little bit mindful about whether people would perceive, judge the event. If it's suitable to send an email at this point, do it. Don't always use every single possible reason to send out an email because, it's your birthday, it's Thursday, it's Tuesday, the day ends in a Y. Just got to use that with a bit of thought. But I think like anniversaries for billing and things are a perfect opportunity to sum up what you could be offering.
Yeah, mine are just as dull as ditch water. I've got to really think about this when it comes to the renewals. They're thankful for the business, but it's just, just the usual platitudes. It's not anything, that makes them excited about staying with us or reminds them about why they are on our care plan. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I think it's a stretch, isn't it? Emailing people is always going to be a difficult one to get people excited about an email which they know is basically a functional email, so a client report or a WooCommerce recurring kind of bill or something like that. It's an edge case, but you never know. I tell you what, though, we've missed one out. We've missed the one about videos out, so I think we should talk about that because I think that's exactly the opposite. I think you have an opportunity here to be very personal, very bespoke, and very unique.
Well, you do this, don't you? Jim Galliano, again, was the one who was talking about sending out video messages, but you've done it not quite for clients, but had success sending it to other people.
Yeah, I don't know if you've come across things like Loom and Cloud App and Dropler and things like that, but these lovely little things which sit in your Either maybe they sit as in a browser extension or in the tray in your Windows machine or whatever. You click a button, and then within a matter of half a second, you can create a video of yourself or your screen or whatever. I found those to be so unbelievably powerful and easy to do. I long since given up sending emails of complicated tasks. Click this, then go to this menu, then click. It's so much quicker to send that kind of stuff. But to repurpose this to say, hi there, Jim, just to let you know, just thinking about you, I was in your site just now, updating it as part of your care plan, and it just occurred to me that you haven't got a contact form where I think you could have one. Or I don't know, that button. Have you noticed how it's not being clicked? I was looking at your heat map data and it's not really getting any action. Maybe we should fix that. Give me a call. And that would be so powerful and so easy. Now, to say all of that, I haven't really done it that way. Mine has been more of an outreach tool. And a little while ago, there was a tool that came up on AppSumo called Dubb, which is DUBB. I'm not sure if it's .com or whatnot, but anyway, it's Dubb. And it enables you to create these little videos, but add calls to actions underneath them. And the best part is it creates a short 3 or 4 second animated GIF, which with one click of a button you can embed in an email. It's trivial. It does it all for you. So you click a button, record a video, click another button, and it embeds the animated GIF in an email. And I found that to be really powerful. I've sent, I think, 3 of those, and every single one of them has converted. So like pretty much cold. And not only that, but all of them have written back to say, yeah, that sounds like a good plan. But they've all also said, boy, love the video. What a good idea. Well done. So I'm a big fan of video. But then again, I suppose I'm a bit comfortable with it. It would require you to be happy talking to a camera and not feeling like you've got to get it perfect, just being normal about it, not trying to edit it to within an inch of its life. I don't do any of that. The way I am, I don't even brush the hair or anything. It's just what you get is what you get, first take.
Yeah. Do you know, I think Kyle Van Dusen did some of this as well, sending out to his clients some emails. I can't remember. I'm sure it was a pretty successful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bryony, I was just going to say that I don't know how long it'll remain interesting. These quirky little technologies like these Dubb videos. It's quirky, so it's interesting. Maybe if everybody starts doing it, it'll be less effective. So actually, can nobody else do it, please? And just let me corner that.
But I think, reminding people of your personality and that you're real people behind the service that you provide for them, that's not going to get old, isn't it? It's better than an email.
No, and if you actually think about it, you could shoot this after you've finished doing something for a client, or you're on your week. I don't know what your process is. Maybe you're on your weekly checkup to make sure all the sites are functioning. If you can spot something which you think they could have done better, or you think you could have done better for them, it will take 20 seconds to shoot that video and send it off. And if it gets viewed, fabulous. If it gets ignored, well, you've lost 20 seconds. So be it. I think it's worth the effort. I really do.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Here's the problem with all these things again, and this is the thing that comes in this Watertight Marketing book. It's about getting these methods that are consistent on what you're going to do. So I think you need to try all the different ideas and find out. But getting feedback is one of the things that she's quite keen, that we don't, as businesses, kind of find out what it is that the client wants. And I've started to do. I've always done this a little bit indirectly because I'm monitoring what clients are doing with their sites. So because I use main WP, it's already got included in that the reports there where you can actually go in and check those to find out what the client's actually done. So you might get an idea about what they're fiddling around with, but also mostly for me, because they don't do too much of that. It used to be there with WordFence where it would tell me straight away if somebody's gone and logged in. So I get some picture for how many times people are going in to do stuff and change stuff. So I don't know. So it's been a bit of useful intel, that, because at least it tells me who's quite keen to do more with their content. Yeah,
I think that's really useful in that if you've got a client who's logging in every single day, I'd say they are absolutely prime fodder for a video or an email or whatever, just to say, Look, it looks like you've been playing with the site loads recently. You might even notice what they've done and then mention it. Let's have a chat. Let's get on the phone and see what we can do to further your reach, to improve the page load time, whatever. I don't know what it might be, but
just get a picture for people. I think there's also another plugin. You don't have to be on main WP, because they forked a plugin called Stream, which keeps a measure of what different users on the site are doing and where they're going. I mean, it doesn't give it full information. I don't think it'll tell you what they're doing on a page builder page, in the edit mode, but it will tell you, where they've gone and sort of content they've updated. So I think it's quite. I don't look at it as much as I should do, but I think it does tell me a lot about the clients.
Do you know what? This strikes me as the sort of thing that everybody should set. I mean, including me. Please don't get me wrong. It's the sort of thing that we should set 20 minutes a week aside for, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever, for this activity. Let's look at those logs. Let's see who's logged in. Let's log in ourselves or look at their website. Let's shoot a video, write an email, and even if you just did 2 a week, you'd be making a lot of headway and really expressing to those clients, oh boy, this guy's really working on my behalf. This is fabulous.
Hey, do you ever give your clients, I know some do, any free gifts? It's kind of Christmas gift or something.
Interesting. I did experiment with that for a while. I don't, but there was. I think I know where you're going with this, and I used to offer kind of a referral thing, which was basically a bottle of wine. So if you referred somebody to me, because like I said, I've said in the past, a lot of my referrals come through word of mouth. I very often say, how did you hear about us? Oh, it was John Smith, whatever. Oh, right, thanks. I'll make a note of that, and I'll tell them that I'll give John Smith, a bottle of wine. So that's as far as I've ever really gone, to be honest.
So this is for new custom, but do you just for the existing clients for no reason?
I
just
don't.
give them
I'm sorry to say, no. I'm not as kind as I should be. Clearly, why? Where are you going with this? What are you thinking?
Well, I don't, and to be honest, you see, also it's part of the message I'm trying to get over for my business, which is like that we're trying to keep the costs as low as possible so you can achieve more for your business. So I think they might be slightly suspicious if I started to give them free gifts, Yeah,
that's right. You're far too profitable.
Yeah, exactly. That's my big fear about that one. But no, the other thing of it, something I have started to do is that I have got a page now, and again, using their dashboards to advertise it in Facebook. I am now got incentivized referrals there, so they get a set amount if they find someone, and they can give to their friend also a discount code, so they'll get reduction in their hosting, and I sell it that it's benefit to them, their friend, and also to us, because we can do more of what we love, that kind of cheesy stuff.
So you actually send cash out of your account to their account, not just give them a discount on their hosting each month. That is interesting. Okay.
Well, I will do that. I mean, I've just started this up and made it official. So, and it's really not gone out yet, but it's going to just sit. I'm not going to push this because it's going to sound desperate, but because of the fact I'm sticking it permanently in the dashboard, it's going to probably sink in.
Did you toy with any other referral incentives aside of cash? And cash off things? I mean, do you ever think about other things like real world things, perhaps time on a Skype call, or time with me, 30 minutes dedicated time where we'll go through your site after it's finished? I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't really. Do you think I should? I would. Sorry,
I was just going to say, it occurs to me that maybe a multiple choice there, if you like. You could choose £50 off, or you could have 25 minutes with me talking through your site. I'm just making it up, but maybe some of these referral schemes, like cash, might work for some, or it might just be an immediate whatever to others. Whereas you're imparting knowledge to me might be worth more to them than cash, possibly.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I need to think about this again. I can always change these things out.
That's right. Yeah, but whatever the incentive is, I do like it. Whether I'm sure that people will have done incentive schemes for a myriad different range of things. But I suppose on WP Builds we have something akin to that. We have these sort of like giveaways where we incentivize people to to win competitions, and the way that they do that is by sharing things on social media. Those can be quite powerful. I can't see that's applicable in this case because it's about acquiring new customers, but I suppose it could be repurposed. We'll give you a bottle of wine if you refer 5 people over the next month, or 50 quid off, or a consultation, or whatever it might be.
Yeah, it's a really tricky one, I think. I mean, I spent a long time trying to write my little landing page that people go to if they're interested, because I really wanted to get over the fact that, they won't refer to I wanted them to not feel like they would refer somebody because they were desperate for the money. So I had to write it in such a way that this is, you already do this for us and it's so grateful. We want to say thank you. We know the money won't be important to you, so likelihood is that you'll send us people that are nice like you. And do you know what I mean? It's that kind of approach with it, because it can be really dangerous, isn't it? If you're trying to build a close relationship to try and stick, money directly in their faces. Get us business.
I suppose this also comes, the conversation might come about as to when do you deploy this? Is it as soon as you've signed the contract with them and before you finish the website, or is it 6 months after the website's up and running and it's really pretty obvious that they're happy, or is it part of an email sequence after they've done a certain action? Do you then offer the incentive scheme? I don't know what the answer is to that. You could spray it out to everyone that you've ever come across, in all honesty, couldn't you? An incentive referring people to your website building service for 50 quid in cash. That it's like affiliate marketing. Anybody could be involved in that, but whether or not you want everybody involved, I don't know.
Yeah, and I've tried to make it it's just here for clients only, people who know us well and trust us. Yeah. But my way around this, rather than sort of pushing it out to them, is I've put it as a sticky in the Facebook group, which, as I say, has only got 14 people in it at the moment because I haven't pushed it. But also, as people come on for new builds, it's going to be sitting there in their dashboard. So I won't actively go, and it'll just be sat there as information. They can act on it if they want. I won't be saying, here it is, do this.
It was my accountant, actually, many years ago, that gave me the idea of the bottle of wine. And it was one of the things that he said right off the bat. As soon as we'd agreed that he was going to be my accountant, he said, look, I'll give you as many bottle of wines as you can drink, as long as you refer people to me. One referral equals a bottle of wine. And he actually he drives it over and brings it round if you ever do it. He literally comes over with a bottle of wine, presents it to you and says, there you go, such and such just came and signed on. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. It's a great touch.
Yeah, it sounds nicer than my money thing. I'm going to have to rethink this one.
Well, no, because you're always moving all over the world, it's going to be impossible for you to rock up there. Boy, that really would be a stretch. I would be your customer for life if you came from India to England to give me a bottle of wine.
But I have contacts in the UK.
Yeah, okay, right, fine, okay, fair enough. Okay.
Send a glamorous assistant instead.
Yeah. So what else have we got on our list of things?
Well, actually, you know what? We didn't finish off something I wanted to mention, and that was instead of gifts. And I haven't done this again. This is all my theory stuff. But I thought about it last year, and I bought something. It didn't turn out to work out a plugin that I was going to give to clients for Christmas instead. But now I'm thinking about other tools which I've bought, which I'm not using because they're not doing the digital marketing so much, that I could offer them for free, like AccuRanker, which can look at the kind of rankings of certain of their pages and stuff and how that's changing, or heat mapping, or Google Reports and all those stuff. And I'm thinking, well, I might as well give these away as gifts, because the research that will come from them could start a conversation for doing more work for them. So
is this you're offering your expertise in using that tool, or are you literally offering to give them the license that you bought?
I'll install it for them so they can get the reports and send that to them. So AccuRanker's a fairly simple thing. I'm not really using it. I bought, great deal, AppSumo again. So I've got a lot of it. It's not being used. That is a bit labor intensive, but with some people, I think that's going to be their interest. I could just say, you've been with us a long time. I'm going to set you up for this. It might be of interest to you.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's a really good idea. No, I can imagine reading that email and, we've got this service. We think it might be of use to you. We'll set it up for you. It's just a congratulations for sticking with us for a year. We don't offer this to everybody, but as you've stuck with us and, we've got a great relationship going on, here we go. This is for you, free of charge. Like it.
Yeah, and it just might, pique their interest, because at least they'll be starting to get some interest in how the traffic is, which hopefully will lead on to some, some needs that they have that need fulfilling that I might be able to fill.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, that's a great idea. And you've put in our little show notes, there's a whole load of other things, like you could give them an analysis of like Google Reports, or give them help with like heat mapping or something. Yeah, great idea. Really good.
I think the heat mapping is a good one, because actually, some of the earlier sites that we had, I think they've got some really humdinger of mistakes in their navigation. So if I just went and stuck it on and showed this, it might give a little job. But maybe, I don't know, again, it's balancing, the work, and you've got to pick the clients well, but which is why I think you need more info on, them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. Really good idea. Sort of incentivizing by offering something which you can already do. And would normally cost money. I think maybe that I would frame it like that, actually. I don't know how I'd frame it, but it would be something like, we've got this service that we normally offer. And I wouldn't lie. It would have to be something I did offer. We do SEO, but because you've been, it's normally charged at £60 a month or something, but we're going to give you 6 months of it for free. Maybe that's an interesting way, and give them a nice free period of something which you might ordinarily charge for.
Yeah, I bet we've all bought kind of some great lifetime deal on a product that would now cost a lot per month, So I certainly have, and I'm not really using them because the clients haven't requested it. So it really is time to just subtly say, we'll give you that, and I'll set you up with some of our use here. But just point them to where they can see the pricing, the value of what we're giving them.
Yeah, great idea, really good idea. Yeah, I like that a lot. Well, really great. Yeah, what else have we got?
Well, for me, not much, but shall we maybe just cover what Bryony mentions in her book about stuff that other businesses perhaps do?
Yes.
So some, I don't know if we can apply this to what we do. Satisfaction tracking, I guess this is some kind of rating us along the way, Mm-hmm. Actually, we do have it. I say we don't have that, but no one uses it. So I do use a tool for support tickets, not that I get many of them, and it does actually say, I think, something on there about rating their satisfaction. I don't think anyone's ever rated me ever.
Did you see there's a new plugin, I think it's called WP Helpful, which is going to offer this capability at the end. This is really about the content that you put out, but there's going to be this satisfaction rating. What's that scale called, where you see it on all sorts of products and services, like it's like an NPR rating or something like that. And
yes.
Is that what it's called? Where you just basically say, out of 1 to 10, quickly, what do you think about our service? And you click 7, and then it says, why did you put 7? And you're just supposed to do it in like 10 seconds. I've never deployed that ever, but I understand it's quite effective because it's so short-lived and it takes seconds to do.
Yeah, I think so. I honestly don't think I would any satisfaction tracking. I don't have enough people really to implement. No. And mystery calling. I don't. Some companies do that. I don't know how we could apply that to our kind of businesses.
No, again, I'm sure it's very useful. But in my, what are you thinking about? I know what it means in terms of like a shop or something. You go and explore the experience of the shop, and then kind of report back to the shop owner exactly what it was like, how the staff behaved, and so on and so forth. How would you deploy that with a website?
Yeah, I think it's sending your spies in. I was a mystery shopper. When I say I was a mystery shopper, I did it with actually a member of my staff. Occasionally used to go on her adventures. It was quite good fun.
Really interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know how we could possibly, because we haven't got sort of physical place where you can go. I suppose we could send. Well, again, that's user testing, isn't it? So
yeah.
We can't do that one. Forget that one. Regular check-ins with account managers, like again, it's not something I think we could do so easily.
No. Okay. Yeah. What else have you got?
Exit interviews is something that other businesses do. So you know what? I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, do you know, I've got such a story about this from the last week. I basically I don't do it, and you can explain to us in a minute why you think they're a good idea. But I had a fairly gut-wrenching one this week where a client left, and as part of the as part of their final package hour or whatever it was of their care plan, they got me to explain to another business how their WordPress website was kind of run. And I couldn't really argue because they'd already said that they were going to leave, and I was like, yeah. And then they got me on the call and said, can we just, make sure that all the migration is going to happen during the last hour? And I said, yeah, that's all fine. You paid for the hour. I'll give you the hour. And then it was a bit strange to have to explain how the website was all configured and what have you during the hour. I did it, and I coped with it, but I should have used that as an opportunity to ask them a whole bunch of things like you're about to elucidate.
Yeah, but you already told me that they were really nice about that.
So
this.
Yes, so it turns out after the fact, even though it was a little bit strange, it turns out that after the fact, they then the lady in this case wrote me an email and said, you've been so good. It's been really, a great experience working with you. We will happily come back to you as soon as our needs change. So that was really nice. That made me think, okay, because there was absolutely no need for her to send that email, but she did. So I was delighted by that.
Yeah, I think that's great. And, I've had similar. Well, one thing that I was quite happy about, somebody who left, and it's with my encouragement they left as well, but it got a bit tense because they knew my colleague better, and they had a whole different relationship, and they was expecting things that we couldn't offer. But just the way that kind of handled that, I didn't get much information, but the way it handled it, refunding instantly when I don't think they were expecting it, and being quite kind and helpful about their move, did mean that this person who was kind of arguing with us and we couldn't move just said, I think it was all my fault at the end. And I just thought, well, that's left the route open, and I think being adult does. But maybe that's not what I'm trying to get to, actually. Sorry, the exit interviews, why I think they're good is because it's just going to give us the truth maybe about how rubbish our services are that we don't really want to listen to. And we're not good at that, are we?
No, well, no, not particularly. I mean, it is hard to hear that people have found somebody better. They've got a new girlfriend. Oh, the feeling is you've sort of been dumped a little bit, and there's a better thing on the horizon. Especially if you know that they're actually moving over to a different agency. But I think it's useful stuff. It'd be good to know. Well, you don't ever speak to us. You don't contact us. This agency kept pestering us every week. Okay, right, tick, I need to get better at that. Or your phone manner's not very good, or you're never available on the phone, even when we phone you up. Your promise of replying to emails every couple of days just doesn't exist. It's good intel,
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've experienced of exit interviews because I had to carry them out for all staff when they used to leave our employment before. And you have to treat them with a pinch of salt because they're in a different kind of mood, and they'll probably be more kind than they would. But I think I think if we're adult enough and can bear it, I think it's really useful to get some of the negatives or perceptions. I guess it'll all be down to the questions you ask, and you probably want to get to their feelings. I think if this is all about emotions, which is the idea, keeping this, that they love you, that they feel attached to you, that's what you want to get to, I guess, with the exit interview.
Yeah, really absolutely. I think it's a good idea. Despite the fact I never do it, I do think it's a good idea. And as with all these things, there's more processes that we should implement than I've got time for. But yeah, fair enough. Good. Tick.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever do this as well, but it's just good to know that it's a thought, isn't it? Yeah. We're getting close to the end. Yeah. Really looking through what she said before. They already do that. Track how much people are making use of your services as a whole. So that's something from the book. That's something that we probably want to look at, and that's what I've started to do by spying on when people log in. But do you think there's any other ways? Any other ways we can kind of track clients? I don't suppose there is.
No, not really, because most of the interactions that I do are not based on computers. It's things like telephone calls, or I shouldn't have said computers. I meant websites. It's based upon telephone calls. It's based upon emails and things. So I can't really see ways to track them. I just think going back to the stuff that we said at the beginning, just being out there in front of them all the time in a non-sleazy, judge for yourself how often you've got to do it. Find an important reason to contact them. So, for example, you've spotted something which is a glaring error on their website. You've got a typo on the header of your homepage, that kind of thing. Send them a video, do that kind of thing. And it's a justified reason for keeping in touch as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Shall I share something I want to do? I don't know if I'll get it done. I'm pretty keen to do it. But I was thinking about lead generation things. What I could come up with, because I think we tend to do the same stuff, which is like, well, we'll analyze your site for free or whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought about just maybe a series of small little videos, 5 minutes, one a week that comes out, taking from somebody else who did similar kind of content weekly, and it just gives them ways that they could improve, small little things they can do to perhaps get more business from their site, but include some of our services. But I thought this is a lead magnet, but I thought this will be perfect to give to people who haven't come through that lead magnet, my existing customers, as a way of just being before their faces and look like I'm helping them without selling them something.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea. You're full of good ideas today. Some of this is gold, I'm sure.
And probably stuff I'll never do. That's the sad thing about it.
Yeah, it's gold, but it's still buried in the ground.
Indeed.
I think we're done.
Indeed. Yes, I love that. That was a good chat. Thank you.
Yeah, really nice chat. And like I said, a lot of those things were just really revelatory to me. Is that even a word? They were revelations to me. That was, really very good. Thanks, Dave. So we'll be returning to this topic slightly differently, talking more about this lady's book next time we chat.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that. It's always a pleasure chatting to David Wormsley, not only because I like him rather a lot, but also I just think he's full of really interesting, innovative ideas. Lots of the things that he suggests I would never have thought about, so that's really nice. I hope that you managed to find some value in that. Please leave some comments. Come and join us in our Facebook group. It's at wpbuilds.com/Facebook, and we'd be glad to get the discussion going around this topic. The WP Builds podcast was brought to you today by WP and Up. 1 in 4 of us will be directly affected by mental health related illness. WP and Up supports and promotes positive mental health within the WordPress community. This is achieved through mentorship, events, training and counselling. Please help enable WP and Up by visiting wpandup.org/give. Okay, join us later today, if you're listening to this on Monday, every week inside the Facebook group or at wpbuilds.com/live. We host our live event where I get on a video chat with 2 or 3 more people from the WordPress community, and we talk about the news which was published on Monday. And then, of course, we've got our regular podcast, which is coming out on Thursday. So I hope to see you at some point during this week. And if not, bye-bye for now.